Yo, 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 what is up? Hold up, I gotta switch something around here. Okay, yeah, no, I got it. All right. What is up, everyone? It's your boy Nerdtaku, and I am ready for this chap. See Miguel in the chat. What is up? You did catch the live. You caught it. It is here, and I am ready for it because I had one panel spoiled for me. And it was like I saw that I saw a little bit of the panel and I scrolled and I was like, damn, like I really gotta I really gotta change this around here because like I did not want to get spoiled, but at the same time, like I went and quick scrolled. I think my brain kind of made up what I saw after the fact. So I'm hoping that the thing, if my brain made it up in the correct way that it was supposed to be intended, I probably need a lot more context to what I saw. So who knows here? Um, all I know is shit's about to hit the fan. So I'm super excited. Um, Miguel says you're not ready. I know I'm not. I know I'm not because I know that after this chapter, we don't even have a break week. So shit is just gonna keep being insane. So um hopefully this is my spiel at the beginning. Hopefully you guys are following me on all my platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and here and YouTube. If you're not, please do. I've been posting reels and TikToks. I haven't been posting shorts on here because they're live reaction content and I immediately get copyrighted as soon as I upload it. um I need to figure out how to just like blur the bottom or just like keep it flashing or whatever so that way it doesn't see me reacting to the anime, because for some reason YouTube can't do it. Like they can't violate copyright even if it's just for a few minutes. But like TikTok and YouTube can, or TikTok and Instagram can. I don't get it, but whatever. It's not my legal battle, so I don't care. But definitely go over there because I've been reacting to uh, some of the episodes, and those have been doing pretty well on Instagram, especially for some reason. But yeah, so and I'm gonna keep doing those as well as other things. Let's get into this chapter because I feel like one of my theories is gonna come true this chapter. And then I think that there's another theory that I want to talk about at the end. So let's jump into it. All right, we got One Piece, chapter 1150, Domi Reversi. Very interesting. So here we have the cover story still of Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage. Yasui's sword is laid to rest at Enma's shrine in Hakumai. Pilgrimage complete. Okay, very interesting. Is this the end of the cover story? Do we get Yamato, Page One, and Alti doing their thing, and is that the end? Or does something pop off next chapter and shows the pilgrimage like continuing, so that way like Yamato can travel around the rest of the regions of Wano? Would be very interesting. But I like it. It was a very uneventful story so far. If this is how it ends, it's probably going to go down as the worst cover story. Oh, hopefully this is not the end. Oda said, I went to Glay Teru's house for Golden Week and had my fill of hakodate. It was as delicious as it was fun. Interesting. Okay, let's get into it. Okay. Damn, where to start here? Okay. If you're new here, let me see if I can do this time. Down here, I did it. Okay, down here on the live, you can see where I am in the chapter, and we can, follow down there as I am reading. Let's see. It says too long, not enough action, but it'll work for a cover story. Oda's always giving shout outs. Yeah, he definitely is. So the giants arrive and they say, the children, thank God they're all right. And it says, our guy, my daddy was pushed down into the realm of the dead. Oh, it's Colin. It says, what? Yasan fell? And it says, that mean lady did it. Watch out. And it says, Dad, Mama. Oh, like Gunko's just floating. It says, he's floating. You must have been scared. Let's get away. Put. And then all of a sudden, like they all start like passing out, and it says, or like, I don't know what's happening to this guy here. All of a sudden, he just like, you know, and then he falls down, and it says, what? Huh? What? And then all of a sudden, there's like this dot dot dot, and it says, this is mayhem. And all of a sudden, all this Conquerors hockey is just exuded everywhere. And all these giants start getting knocked out. The kids knocked out. The Conquerors hockey going all over the place. Oh, shit. And it says, boy. And like some of the giants are getting knocked out, and Dorian Broggy says, whoa. And they see this, and Yarul, his eyes turn double ringed like Dunko's. What the fuck? And all of a sudden, Gunko Emu does like a pentagram thing, and like two barrels come out, and it says boom. And all of a sudden, like one of the giants, it's like jolt. And then it says, I shan't permit a rebellion. Is this all your dream demons amount to, Killingham? Yo, dude, this guy, Emu's just different, dude. This is so crazy because the bat wings, the trident, the tail, this isn't even Gunko using her power. Or like it kind of is, maybe this is like a manifestation of Gunko's power. Like the wings are weird, but the trident is made out of arrows, kind of, and so's the tail. And it says, not at all, my lord. There are still many nightmare fissures left open. It says these monsters were born from the nightmares of this island. They are creatures made from dreams with no concept of death. I can revive them at any time. I just need to give the signal. This is kind of bananas, dude. Like, what the Where's Luffy? Where's Luffy? He should have felt that. He should have felt that Conquerors down in the underworld. And it says Summers, shepherd. It says Summers, shepherd those urchins. And he's like getting up. He's like, at once, my lord, huff, huff. He's still alive? Miguel says, actually crazy. Yeah, this is just banana land right now. It says, like, he's like slowly getting up, and they're like, he's still alive? It says, the one in the sky is the woman from earlier, right? She's barely recognizable. And Robin says, where are Luffy and the others now? And it says, well, now Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji should be. And I don't know who says this, but it says they're with Harudin and his crew. This is the worst time they could have chosen to go to the realm of the dead. And it says, yeah. And it says, what are you doing, Robin? And she says, I can't just sit here and do nothing. It's unbearable. And it's like dot 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 with exclamation points while the library's burning. Yo, I love Robin, dude. She's like, I can't fucking just sit here, bro. All of the knowledge of O'Hara is burning the fuck up. What am I doing? Jinbei, you gotta get your balls up. This is low Jinbei feats right now. I'm upset that Jinbei is getting this treatment. Prove to me, prove to me that Jinbei is that guy. Because I love Jinbei, and he's being bitch made right now. Oh, look, his like hand is slowly regenerating. And it says, it is imperative that we establish a suitable authority, one capable of striking a proper ransom for those adolescents. It's like crackle as he's like putting his arm together. It says, it's just as you say, my lord. What do you do with a country that has no king? Huff, huff. And then he's thinking of it. Damn you, Gabon. That was painful. And then Dunko's right here, and the Dory and Broggy start coming towards her. And she says, Blue Ogre Dory, Red Ogre Broggy, I command thee to claim dominion of this island. Henceforth ye shall reign as the kings of Elbaf. And he says, you're one of those God's knights. Hey, you, all this chaos is your fault. Damn, damn, son. The fact that she just got snatched up like that is kind of crazy. But this is starting to make sense to the panel that got leaked from me. No, fuck. And then uh it says Dory and the rest of you guys run up ahead. You got it, Captain. Be careful, Broggy. And it says, I'm taking those kids back. How many of you are there? Dude, this is kind of getting crazy. And all of a sudden, Gunko's like, listen, Broggy, go and meet with Mountain Beard Jarul. You shall take his head and raise it up high. And then it says, then proclaim to the people of this island, we are the kings of Elbaf. And then she like opens a fucking spell book, like with a pentagram on it. This is interesting. So the pages are opening, and then she's like, and then go proclaim to the people of the island, we are the kings of Elbaf. And then something is manifesting out of it. And Broggy's like, that's crazy talk. This is our homeland. You don't call the shots here. And all of a sudden, like a sword, like a dagger and a gun manifest out of the book. She grabs the knife, stabs his hand, and he goes, Rog, and it says, it would be intolerable to leave this matter unsettled. And she goes and blasts his fucking hand off. And she says, now accept my ungodly power. What the fuck am I reading, dude? Is this One Piece? Am I crazy right now? What? bro, this is how you say blowing my mind. So he just snatches her up and she's like, no big deal. BT dubs, my arm is free. And I'm going to use this spell book and it's going to give me the blick. It's going to give me the blick spell. Like, it just reminds me. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. It's so funny, but it's like, there was a Marvel comic about Taskmaster and he like does this thing where he summons these circles and like brings it around and he's talking about using he's a domain expansion and people are like, yo, is he gonna use jujutsu sorcery? And he's like, domain expansion gun, and just shoots the dude. So funny. That's what this is like, fucking like breathing right now. Like, this is insane. It's like she's like, I cast spell gun. Like double barrel shotgun. What the fuck? Yo, this is so funny. But like crazy that she is doing this shenanigans. And then one of the giants is, Arg, the captain's arm. And he's like, ugh. And it says, what? Chief? It can't be. The chief is tough as nails. And it says, I won't forgive that woman, and it says, thou shalt cast aside thy lifespan for a body unyielding to death. Under Mu's dominion, thou shalt be granted unprecedented strength. No longer shalt thou be bound by reason nor common sense. Becoming a demon is truly the pinnacle of existence. And it says, a coeral demonic contract. And it says, a demon? What is she trying to do now? What the Yo. Listen. Listen to me and listen well. I'm not going to say it's happening, but Broker has a theory that Emu's devil fruit is the Lucifer devil fruit, and that you make contracts with the devil, basically. And this is looking a whole lot like that. I didn't like it at first because I felt like it was too simple. Like it's not like it's simple, but it's like that seems more like the logical conclusion versus what Oda would normally do. So I wasn't a fan of it, but this is actually really interesting. So, and all of a sudden, like Bragi starts sinking, and he says, "Dwa, I'm sinking." And she says, "Domi reversi," and it says the kanji reads as Black Dominion reversion. And so that's interesting. Is this like the abyss? Like he's sinking into the abyss of the pentagram and then flipping him and bringing like an alternate version of Dory. It says, what, boss? And then he says, wait. And all of a sudden his legs are up in the air and you see these eyes and this sharp tooth. And he's like, huh? And he comes out and it says, ah, he really turned into a demon. He's even bigger now. What happened to you, Captain Broggy? And it says, his face is scary. Give the chief back. Chief Broggy would never turn on his comrades. Dude, this is fucking bananas. It's like the Toon Devil. Yeah. And it says, a warrior's pride. And he just destroys three people. And he says, Gabba Baba, I feel like I can do anything. This is exhilarating. It says, "What? He took out Boss Dory." And then he says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go, King Ja Rule. Come on, ya bastards." And he says, "Hold on, what are you saying, Chief Dory? What about rescuing the kids?" It says, "You can't take something like that back. We've got to stop these two." And it says, "Chiefs." And then I was like, huh? What? What? You guys too? All of a sudden, like three people get flip-flopped. And it says, "Is it because they were standing between those two?" It says, "Maybe. In any case, we've got to go." Damn, Emu looks crazy. And it says, "This is the true power of Elbaf. It is not without merit." Damn, this is fucking nuts. They all have like three-pronged items. Like there's a bunch of like tridents. Dory's got a very special trident with like a long sword in the middle, and then Broggy's axe has like the long thing in the middle, and then the blades. And it says, "This nation shall not be laid to waste. It is to be ruled." And it says, "Let us bear witness to how they serve in the crucible of war." And it says, "Lord Yarul, you have to run away. Chief Dory and Broggy are acting strange." And it's like, dot, 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 "Run away." And it says, "Warriors do not know the meaning of the word run." And that's the end. The fuck did I just watch? This had very little Straw Hat action, but man, that's crazy. We got to see a little bit of Emu's power. Like, this is what I'm saying, dog. Like, if people really be out here saying some crazy shit like, yo, Emu ain't like that. Emu, how does Emu's hockey have to be like, how is Emu's hockey good? Like, if they've not been fighting, Emu probably doesn't need to fight. Emu's probably hit the pinnacle and now it's just there. Because, I mean, look, like, the fact that we're getting 1151 makes me feel like Luffy showing up next chapter. Luffy showing up. I gotta believe it. This chapter's crazy. All right, let's go through it. We gotta run it back. Let's see what the fuck is happening here. So, first things first. The fact that Emu just launched this crazy Conquerors hockey, knocking out giants that were trying to save the kids. Immediate aura. Immediate aura. This is dope. At least at the end, he'll show up. Yeah. If not, then Loki. I'm thinking it's both. Me personally. I'm thinking that Loki and Luffy show up together, ready to fucking do battle. As well as the others in the monster tree and Hardine, you know, that sort of thing. Um, so immediate aura with the Conquerors hockey just goes to prove my point. Conquerors hockey is key, and of course, Emu would have tons of it. The fact that Emu is basically like, "Yo, Killingham, you ain't it. Like, is this all you can fucking do, bro?" And he's like, "No, sir, I can do so much." And then Sommers getting up, also fucking good. I thought that would happen as well. Sommers seemed like he was down, definitely not out. You know, he's struggling to regenerate, but he's gonna get there. Excuse me. So Emu's whole thing, like saying, like, "Hey, Dory Bragi, I command you to claim dominion of this land. Henceforth, you shall be known as the kings." You know, and I love how Bragi's like, "Yo, fuck that, bro." Snatches Emu right up, and is just talking that shit, like, "Hey, this is all your fault" or whatever. And the fact that Emu just whips out a book that comes out of thin air, basically, like she's the fucking sorcerer supreme, is crazy. But then to go and be like, "Hey, um, you guys are gonna go and take Yarul's head, and you're gonna raise it up high and proclaim to the people that we are the kings of Elbaf, because you guys are gonna be my fucking little pets, and you guys are gonna do what you're supposed to do." Bragi's like, "Nah, F that." But then gets the meanest, like, fucking, "Yo, you're gonna get stabbed." Boom. Also, I got the blick out. And then on top of that, boom, hand gone. Hand just fucking down. And Emu's just like, just destroying Bragi. And they're like, "Yo, how could he do this?" And then the whole contract thing. And it's like that's so crazy. And the way it just like sinks him in and then just like flips him over to be like a dark version of himself is very interesting. It's like it's goofy, but like also kind of crazy. So obviously this is some sort of like contract thing. It's similar to like a devil, you know, like and stuff like that. So like I get that part. Um Kind of wild, but you know, whatever. And then this whole thing where like you see something pretty crazy. So he has his fucking hand off. When he flips back over, you see him as a devil. He's got horns, he's got wings. They're like, he really turned into a devil. His arm is still missing. There's like a missing spot in between, and it's slowly recovering like he was a God's Knight. And he's even bigger than he was before. And even when he hits these dudes with Warrior's Pride, his arm is still not attached yet. It's just floating there like he's fucking Buggy. Um, and then we don't even get to see it, but then Bragi also gets the same treatment. And they're like, "Yo, let's go kill Yarul," which again, crazy. And still in this panel, we see his arm is still floating, still missing. And it's like Chiefs, and then they all get the old switch around treatment. Now, when we finally see Dory and Bragi again in their demon forms, you don't really see Bragi's arm, so you don't know if that I even got fixed per se. So I don't know if it's going to be that they aren't officially like God's Knights and they don't have all the regen, but they can still fight like they're zombies type thing. But man, this is just crazy. So I don't know, man. This chapter was absolute banana land. Um, from front to back, just crazy. Just absolute crazy. And this double spread at the end with all the nightmares behind them and then the demon giants in the front who are like huge. They're fucking huge. Because if you look, these giants are right here. They're like the size of the Elbaf trees. These motherfuckers are bigger. They're like waist level with the trees. These dudes are like Loki size. which makes me think they're gonna go for Yarul. Loki might be the one to save Yarul. And then Yarul might be the one to give us Loki's backstory and say, hey, this is what really happened. I've been hiding this. Just saying. It's a possibility. One that is not crazy out of the realm that this is something that happened. So, I don't know. But at the end of this chapter, we get crazy double spread. Gunko says this nation shall not be laid to waste. It is to be ruled. But you know what she didn't account for? The warrior of liberation. Because if the warrior of liberation shows up to liberate Elbaf, you know it's about to go down. So, it is great. Crazy. This chapter was a whole lot of hype, a whole lot of crazy, a whole lot of bananas. So, I'm absolutely excited to see what 1151 brings us next week. I have to work next week, which sucks, but I'm still going to make time for this 1151 because I'm a need to. I'm a need to. Damn. So yeah. I mean, this chapter to me, it didn't give us crazy stuff. Like it didn't do lore drops per se, but it did enough for me. I'm gonna be honest. This chapter is like a 9 to me, maybe 9.5. The fucking blick that Emu just pops out of a book is crazy. Like the tome, like I just want to know what Emu's power is. The fact that Emu was able to take over Gunko and influence Gunko in a way that gave her his power is so cool. It's like so much good shit right here. Like it's just crazy. Like Emu's power is so crazy. Like I just want to know, like now that these people have been reversed, you know, and it's like the dark version of them. Could she take over Broggy? Could she take over Dory? Like, it's just so crazy. And even in the fucking beginning, we see Emu like use the like the pentagram thing, and all of a sudden it looks like 2 gun barrels pop out of the fucking pentagram and shoot these unknowing giants. Like craziness. But yeah, the fact that she used fucking give me the pokey and the gun and the blicky, and she was just like stab, hit him with the game changer. That's what I call that. Um, if it's like reversey, can they be turned back? I would imagine so. You want to know what I think would be kind of crazy? Imagine Luffy like showing up to this, right? Seeing Dory and Broggy do this, and then him just shoving them in the back down into the pentagram like he did with the zombie in Thriller Bark, and then just like flipping them, and then all of a sudden brings them back up and they're good. Like just because it's like toony and stupid like that. Like that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. Just like a complete redo of the Thriller Bark zombie scene where he just puts the zombie back in the ground. Like stop shoving me in the hole, jackass. A really old man that's bandaged. Um, but no, this is kind of crazy. I need to see more. this has just got me hype. Cause like we really did get the whole ass fucking mural where it basically showed the devil on one side. And we were like, Emu's power similar to the devil, probably. And we were like, but maybe not. Who knows? You never know which way Oda's gonna go with something. And then he's like, nah, I'm just gonna go for the full devil thing. Wings, pitchfork, pointy tail, the works. So I don't know, man. You know, this is really starting to make me wonder if the reason Emu is in Lily's body, most likely, is because Joy Boy came and beat that ass. And I'm talking beat that ass. And he did something like this to her, did this to Lily, put her underground, flipped her, she turned to reverse. And maybe the Joy Boy that time didn't know how to reverse it. And so at Emu's dying breath in his real body, the Emu of Nerona, put his soul into her body. That's where like the double ring eyes come from. And then he basically just was like, I'm gonna live in like Lily's body. I have to because I my body's no longer good. And Joy Boy lost because he just couldn't stand to hurt Lily. Like that could easily be it. It's a little basic-ish for me, but like I'm sure like Oda could make it good, make it make more sense than I am currently. But like there's got to be a way to turn him back. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Wi-Fi hockey thing. Maybe you got to shut down Emu's devil fruit and it'll turn off the demonification or something, you know? Well, here's the thing. And this is kind of crazy. This is their training arc. If Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, any of the Straw Hats are going to be able to hurt someone who's immortal, per se, this is how they're going to have to learn to do it by fighting Dory, Broggy, and everyone else to get to the kids and save them and all this shit because like they're not going to be able to hurt Dory and Broggy, turn them back. Maybe they won't realize how to turn them back. And so they're just going to have to fight them, run the ones, and it's going to be just a crazy fight. And it's going to be like them kind of trying to learn how to, just put damage on them or at least slow down their regeneration, like Gabon did with Summers. And it's just going to be like, boom, try again, boom, try again, boom, try again. Like, I don't know. But then again, if Emu sees Joy Boy, if he sees the sun god Nika fruit, is Emu gonna lose their shit? Like, I don't know. How long is Emu gonna be here? Is Emu gonna set all this up and then be like, all right, you guys can fucking take it from here, right? And then boom, do the old swapperoo. I don't know. This chapter was great. So um before I wrap, I do want to address one thing. And you can timestamp me on this. Okay. So I had a theory way back in January of 2024. I have the TikTok. It is pinned on my channel, on my TikTok. And it is on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I put it on here. That Thriller Bark is God Valley. And everyone has been talking about that theory now. I've seen it all over my timeline or my FYP on TikTok. I've seen so many people talking about Thriller Bark being Odd Valley and so on and so forth. Now that we've been talking more about like Brooke and his backstory, Listen, I don't know if I'm the first to fucking suggest it, because who knows? The internet, there's so many different corners of the internet, and I'm not here to play that game of like who said what when. I got the timestamps from my video and so on and so forth. But I need you to know this. I am almost positive that it is true. The timelines match up. The fucking stories match up. Brooke said he is originally from a kingdom in the West Blue. He said he was part of a battle convoy. He said that the Rumbar pirates were originally from the West Blue. And they all, I'm pretty sure, were from the same kingdom. At the end of Thriller Bark, Frankie and Usopp build a memorial for the Rumbar pirates on Thriller Bark. And when Brooke says that, he says, it makes sense to build this here because this piece of the island is where we were originally from. Like, not in the same exact words, but basically saying, like, this is where we're from. So, while Brooke was afloat, dead in the Florian Triangle, God Valley happened. And when Moria got beat by Kaido, he was looking for somewhere to be. He either finds Thriller Bark or finds the piece of God Valley that got broken off, or he finds Hogback, and Hogback says, hey, yo, I got this place, bunch of corpses. Let's turn them into zombies. They're your new crew. We can turn the land into a ship, blah, 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 blah. Whatever may have transpired there. But that means that God Valley is where Brooks originally from. Brooks' original, like, if he was part of the Royal Guard, if he was the Pell to the princess of God Valley, that means that we know what the princess looks like, right? We know the princess of God Valley watches her father get murked by Garling. And that's where we could have seen that last flashback at the end of last chapter, where she yells out father and is crying. That could be the moment where either he is getting murked, or the hunt that happens afterwards that she would probably be a part of, because they didn't give a fuck about like the ruling class of God Valley at that point. They were like, yo, we're gonna hunt all your people, blah blah blah. They could have easily been like, hey, we killed your dad, and now you're also part of the hunt, BT Dubs. And she could have fled from there and then be screaming out for her father because she has no one to take care of her, blah 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 blah. Like, it's very easy to understand that this is the truth of the matter is the connection we had, the best connection we have to God Valley is Brooke. And God Valley did eventually get broken into pieces, and that is where Thriller Bark comes in. Thriller Bark is part of God Valley. Even some of the structures look similar to the flashbacks that we got with Kuma. So, like, again, I'm not trying to say like I was the first one to think of this, right? But what I'm saying is a lot of people are talking about it now, and I get it. It makes the most sense. But just know I was on that train. That was one of my theories. I don't need everyone to, blow me about it. But like it was a super credible theory back then. It's even more credible now. So I'm just super happy that people are talking about it. I just wish that I could lay out more of the facts for the people that are asking these questions of like, yo, is this what's happening? Blah, 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 blah. Because there's so many more. There's like the fact that, Dofi was trying to murk Moria at Marine Ford because he probably was like, yo, the higher ups, the people like the Gorosei and Emu and the God's Knights knew that you had a piece of God Valley, and a bunch of the zombies from the rocks and all these other people and they wanted me to murk you because you knew too much. Like there's so many different things that come into play when it comes to Brook, Thriller Bark, God Valley, Moria, the whole nine, you know. So I'm probably going to make a TikTok refreshing my Thriller Bark take on that is God Valley, and even present more information to the fact, because I feel like it needs to be said. I feel like I need my cred. You know what I'm saying? I was on this train forever. So, but anyway, that's my spiel. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for joining me for this crazy good chapter. I will definitely be back here again next week, because it is gonna be a banger. Most likely we're probably gonna get some really cool developments, especially because Oda's been just treating us. The last two chapters have ended on cliffhangers in a way that I feel like is reminiscent of how he would end off before a break week. And this is just like when we've been getting continuous chapters. So the fact that we're actually going on a break week after 1151 means that we're about to go crazy with it. So I'm also working on a new thumbnail for my chapter reviews. So be ready for that as well. And thank you guys so much. Please like the video. If you haven't already, please go into the Linktree, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, because I'm posting more content on those two platforms. I like to do the reviews here for long form stuff. And then I like to post my live reaction to the anime on TikTok, Instagram. They usually do better. And on top of that, I don't get copyright strike like I do here on YouTube. So, um, yeah. So please go make sure you like, if you're watching this after the fact, please comment your thoughts, about anything that we talked about, whether it be the chapter, my theories, so on and so forth. And I just keep that conversation up, because I say it every stream. I try to say it with everybody. One Piece is better as a conversation. And I love having that conversation with you guys. As well as make sure to check out NYC Anime Nerds channel as well, because I'm going live over there with him and Broker usually every week, usually on a Wednesday. So please make sure you're going over there, supporting and seeing what we talk about. We usually talk about the chapter if there is one, and then we talk about like one other subject. We try and keep it short. But yeah, thank you guys as always, and please, tune in for next time, because I'm sure it is going to be a blast. So